Hi guys, we are at the Garden Center this morning, aka Merrifield Garden Centers in Falls Church, Virginia. And I wanted to come up here and do a quick spin around and see what they have end of the year, because a lot of garden centers tend to kind of power down in the wintertime and clear out a lot of their inventory. But there are a few of those where they keep it pretty fully stocked. And Merrifield is one of those. And I love coming up here throughout all seasons just to see what they have, and again, get some inspiration, look at some winter interest stuff, and just kind of enjoy the morning. So I'm going to start back here in the tree section. I don't think I've ever taken you fully back here. This is where they have a lot of their bigger dogwoods, maples, oaks, things like that. And then we'll walk through the front and just kind of meander throughout the entire garden center. Now, I will tell you, they are in the process of clearing out sections because they are leveling them, putting gravel down, and then a little bit of a mulch base. Then they're bringing plants back in, like a lot of these big ball and burlap trees, they're bringing them back, and then they're covering them with wood chips for the winter, which I found pretty interesting because that's like almost a 2-foot layer of wood chips. But when you're dealing with trees that are this big, this mature, with root balls that big, it makes a whole lot of sense. And I get how, I understand better now how they winterize their plants and their trees during the really, really frigid times of the winter, because we're coming into January, and January and February tend to be pretty biting as far as that cold comes in. And when the wind picks up too, you've got the wind chill factor. And a lot of these big trees, you don't want their root balls exposed. So hence, a couple feet of wood chips insulates them for the winter. So let's take a look. I do have to show you though the size of this red point maple root ball. Oh my goodness, you guys. This tree, along with all the others, is massive. But the root ball alone on this, oh my God, easily from the widest point to the widest point has got to be at least 4 feet. And it's about 3.5 feet tall. And just look at the caliber of this trunk. I can put my hand around it, and I've got pretty big hands. And look at that. It takes 2 of them to reach all the way around. So this is a very mature tree. And ooh, look at the bark on this one. Oh, I love it. Red maple. That's so awesome. But yeah, I'm standing right in the middle of the B&B section, and I'm just gonna pan around slowly so you can see just how vast this section is. Isn't it just beautiful? And again, it just blows my mind how these trees are, first of all, how they're cared for, and then how they're just maneuvered, delivered, planted. Like, let's go over here because I got one more I want to show you real quick. Look at this. Oh, that is huge. This is a Kwanzan cherry. Again, look how big that trunk is. And the root ball. Oh my God. But you have to see the size of the tree though, and then it'll make total sense. Easily 25 feet tall. But yeah, that's just, this whole section is just so impressive to me. And this is only one of their 2 lots. There's actually another tree lot on the other side of the highway where they keep a lot of their inventory, and then they just bring them out onto like the floor, I guess. But oh, this is just beautiful. And I love how the branching on all of these is just like a candelabra. They come out evenly. They've got a nice arch to them. They're not shooting straight up. We don't have like a very like distinct like crotch right there. It's just they're just so well maintained. What is this? Princess dogwood. Oh, so pretty. And you can see there are a couple that did fall down. They had a windstorm yesterday overnight. So you're going to see a few more of these trees kind of toppled over because we had crazy winds. So they're in the process of not only winterizing everything, but they have to pick everything back up again. Kusa dogwood. Yeah, those are really pretty. We have the Scarlet Fire dogwood, which is kind of like a hybrid of a Kusa anyway. So yeah, there's not too much to see back here because this is a lot of their deciduous trees, but it's just still fun to look at though, because this gives you a good idea of what they're going to look like in the winter. And, while we do want, evergreens, I like deciduous as well because it provides a totally different look. And sometimes you just need a little break from the green and have just a different structure altogether. This has got a beautiful shape on it. It's another Kusa dogwood. Look at that. Beautiful. And what is this? The bark on this is just amazing. I almost wanted to say, is this a beech? Stellar pink dogwood. Really? That's interesting. 20 feet tall, 15 feet wide. I love the size of that thing. But that's beautiful. And see, you don't get that with evergreens. You've got the deciduous tree, but look at the bark. It provides like this silvery white coloring. It's just beautiful. But yeah, some of these trees are just gorgeous. Look at the October glory maple. How the bark on this in the wintertime is like almost like a beech. It's like white. It's beautiful. And just the whole branching structure of this. This is probably about 15 to 20 feet tall. But yeah, just gorgeous. But yeah, here's one that kind of toppled in the wind. And when they do this, you want to pretty much just leave them, because what's the point of picking them back up again if they're just going to fall right back down? If they fall, leave them. And then when the windstorm is done, that's when you go in and clean up. But look at these things, you guys. Look at this one. Oh, this is a white oak. Dang, look at that. Oh, this one's even got the cage on it. Yeah, another 4-foot wide root ball. But this is beautiful. Look at that. It almost reminds me of like a cobblestone. What is it? Cobblestone oak? Cobblestone maple? Brain cramp. But yeah, it's just beautiful. And this one still has its leaves on it. A little. Isn't that beautiful? But the bark is what really gets me in the wintertime. Gosh, there's so much inventory end of December, and I'm seeing multi-trunk birch trees, and they look amazing. Look at the size of these. But this is what caught my eye. Look at the bark. Oh my goodness, that is just gorgeous. And I don't know if it's picking up on camera, but right over here, it's kind of got like a pinky, coppery look to it. There's like a hue to it. What is this? Duraheat birch, 30 feet tall plus 20 feet wide plus. Yeah, these get big, but man, are these beautiful. Look at this one. This is a 4-trunk birch. Oh, this is a heritage birch. Oh, beautiful. And again, that bark is its winter interest. Nothing comes close to that. You can see in the background some more toppled over trees. But yeah, fun. And then right over here, we have the fruit trees, which I'm almost positive are going to be covered up, if not brought into some high tunnels or polytunnels. Persimmon. Ooh, those are good. We have a lot of our neighbors, like all throughout like the neighborhoods, they have persimmon trees because if I'm not mistaken, yep, look at that. They are self-pollinating, so that's a plus. A lot of fruit trees like apples and cherry trees, while I would love to have them, one, they get way too big, and two, they require a different variety to pollinate. They need that cross-pollination. So if you're living in like the suburbs or in like an urban area, you may not have room for 2 cherry trees or 2 apple trees. I know I don't. So it's nice when you come across something that is self-pollinating. Now, granted, if you have 2 of these, you may get higher yields, but the fact that you only need 1 to get fruit is just a bonus in my book. But don't let that fool you into thinking that these are dwarf varieties too. This gets 35 feet wide and 30 feet tall. So this eventually will become a big tree, but still it'll bear fruit, and we love that. I see some fig trees over here. Oh, look, they've got a little Miss Figgy. I've seen this before. It's a dwarf variety. How big do we get? 4 to 6 feet tall, 3 to 4 feet wide. Now, keep in mind, those are like the 10-year marks, but eventually these will continue to grow. They will slow down, but it could get a little bit bigger. So just keep that in mind. Ooh, Chicago hardy figs. If you're in the colder climates, this is just for you. Oh, there's so much over here. Look at this. I don't know if you just heard that, but they've got the dump trucks moving the wood chips around, but look at this. And we haven't even walked inside the garden center yet. I love these. These are just, I wish, honestly, I had the room for a birch. Maybe I do, and I just don't realize it yet, but yeah, another Duraheat. That's just, I can't get over the bark. And I like the multi-trunk. But yeah, this place is just massive. So over to the other side, there's just a lot more dogwoods, crab apples, things of that nature. But you know, how long can we look at a bunch of deciduous trees? Now, I can walk these pathways for hours and just soak it all up. But I want to walk in through the front of the garden center so we can kind of get the feel of the Christmas vibe they've got going on. And then we're just going to take a quick spin because again, they're shuffling things all over. So I have no idea where things are ending up. I can see off into the distance, they've got some poly high tunnels all set up. So I imagine that they're bringing a lot of the more tender stuff inside for the winter. You can see they've got their Christmas trees over here, a little Christmas decor. We've got the wall of wreaths over here, which are just beautiful. Look at that. Oh, that's so pretty with the holly, the magnolias. Oh, so beautiful. Oh, look at that. They've even got some Hinoki cypress in there. Isn't that pretty? I love the simplicity of it. I know I've seen a lot of wreaths where they just pack it with so much stuff and so much decor. It's a little jarring, but look at this. Any last minute Christmas tree shoppers? This is beautiful. Look at the holly. Look how loaded it is. Oh, that's so pretty. Oh, hello, Fat Albert. Gotta love the blue spruce. So pretty. All right, let's head over here. Normally we start back in here with the Japanese maples and we work our way back towards this. So I thought it would be fun to start here. So this is where they pretty much have usually all of their annuals, their herbs, and their vegetables. But in the wintertime, it turns into a lot of their cut evergreens and their wreaths and everything. Whew. Yeah, they've got some beautiful stuff here. All of this little holiday decor, the little juniper berries. That's really pretty. This is the Fresh Greens tent. This is where you can come and purchase some fresh cut greens if you want to make your own wreaths or garlands. We've got the Douglas firs, the red cedar boughs, junipers. There's just so much, just buckets and buckets of stuff. And here's where they can just like clean it up and wrap it all up for you. It's so nice. It's like your one-stop shop. And then over here, we have more cuttings. Magnolias. Look at these boughs. Isn't that pretty? We're right by the highway, guys. Can you hear it? But yeah, there's just so much. There's tables of magnolias back there, hollyberries, noble fir, juniper, just a whole selection of fresh evergreen cuttings for wreaths, garlands, any type of decor. Look at that. Oh, so pretty. And you can see right over here is pretty much where we have a lot of the perennials and the native plants, and they've put up the high tunnels or the poly houses, and this is how they keep everything happy during the winter. Now we are allowed to go in here because it is customer friendly, so let's just pop in here and see what we have. We're the only ones here. So this looks like the perennial and native plant section. We've got the nepidas, cat's pajamas. It's a tiny little one. But yeah, this is where you can see all of the perennials in here, ground covers, but it's protected. It's like so much warmer in here. And it's just nice to kind of check it all out, see what we've got. A lot of ground covers and your grasses. Look at that. There's just so much. Oh, look at these. Look at that color. This just stopped me in my tracks. Oh my gosh. That is beautiful. All of these. Look at that. Hold on. Something else just caught me. I'm like trying to make my way through all this. Look at these hardy geraniums. Oh my gosh. Look at the color on that. This is like Christmas. Oh, and look at that summer color, the pink. Striped bloody cranesbill. So yeah, this is one of their polyhouse tunnels. Little grasses, ground covers. Some more native plants over here. Coreopsis. This is the back of it. We've got our hibiscus over here. False sunflowers. That's so pretty. Hardy sunflower, sun catcher. Yeah, but you can also see that they've cut everything back too, because everything is going dormant. So there's no need to have a lot of that foliage on here throughout the winter. And this is exactly what we do in our garden beds in the fall and early winter. We cut a lot of our perennials back because there's no point in them trying to support all of that foliage when we know that the temperatures are just not going to be conducive and it's just going to kill the foliage anyways. We want them to focus a lot of their energy during the cold on root development and just staying alive through the winters. These are pretty big houses too. Oh look, we've even got some lavender over here. Lavender inspirational, points of white. That's pretty. Yeah, so it's really fun to kind of come in here undercover and just see how they take care of their inventory through the winter time. And we get to look at some really beautiful plants too. All right, let's check out the rest of the garden center. And they've got rows and rows of these polytunnels where they're bringing a lot of stuff in. Like I can see like heucheras and heucherellas in this one. Look at that. And look how big this whole tunnel is. Again, another section of native plants. Look at fire alarm heuchera. Oh my, that is gorgeous. Oh my gosh. And citronelle. I mean, these two together, man, they just pop. They're so loud. I love it. But yeah, look, more heucheras and just so many colors. It's so colorful and alive in here, and it's freezing cold outside. We've got lamb's ear over here. I need to get some of this too. Goldenrod. I see Acarus ogon grasses. More perennial grasses over here. And more heucheras. Such a beautiful color. And what's really cool about these high tunnels is they're connected. So we can actually walk through and we just end up right back in the first one we were at. Isn't that pretty neat? And we have a third one over here, so we can just walk. We can look through 3 high tunnels and we don't even have to go outside. Look at this. Ah, so pretty. And I love that we're able to come and look at beautiful plants and shrubs at the end of December when it's 20 some degrees out. What is this? This is cotton candy camellia. Look at the size of this. Ooh. And look, you're looking for winter interest with some color. Look at that. We've got blooms. These are great for late fall, winter blooming. We have a neighbor up the road and they have a camellia right in their front lawn. It's right up against their fence and it's probably about 10 feet plus tall, and it blooms the most beautiful snow white blooms from late fall throughout the winter time. It is just gorgeous. If I remember, I'll try and get some pictures of it because it's just beautiful. And that's the beauty of camellias. You get flowering and blooming in the wintertime. Look at the variegated and marbled acubas. That's just beautiful. Looks like we've got clematis or something back there. Honeysuckle that's vining. Let's go look real quick. We do have a little walkway here. Yep, camellias. Look at this. Tea plant. Kramer Supreme camellias. Yeah. So pretty. So right over to the right of all of these polytunnels, which I also love the fact that they have these labeled and everything that's in here is listed, which is just great. But right over here to the right, this is their live Christmas tree section. And we were here probably a few weeks ago and they were packed full. And now look at it. Everybody has got a Christmas tree now. My gosh. They are just moving them out. They still have a few. Like, look at this. Look at these two. God, they are huge. Okay, guys, we're right by the highway, so we're just going to be here real quick. But yeah, look at this. This whole lot was Christmas trees. Now, they've got a few left in here. A lot of big ones. But yeah. Just pretty. And right back over on the back section over there is a lot of their holly bushes. And then this is the rhododendron and azalea section. You can see that they cleared a lot of this stuff out to make room for more Christmas trees. So all of those azaleas and everything were moved into those white poly houses. So now let's head back over this way towards the tree section. This is the Japanese maple section that we usually start. And then right over here is a lot of their perennials that have all been moved in. But I see like Arctic Fire Red and Yellow Twig Dogwoods. Because these are winter interest plants with some color. Look at this. Arctic Fire Red. I mean, where else can you get this color in the wintertime from a shrub? And check out the Arctic yellow. Arctic fire yellow. Isn't that beautiful? Now, how big do these get? Let's see. They're hardy in zones 2 through 7, 4 to 5 feet tall, 6 feet wide, full sun. They can handle a little bit of shade, but the more sun you give them, the more vibrant the winter color is going to be. And then over here, it looks like we've got some lemony lace elderberries, black mondo grass, some evergreen ground covers, a few hydrangea standards. This is the more hardier of the perennial section. Fairy Trail Bride, hydrangeas. Looks like some of these oak leaves. Yeah, they actually have more foliage on them than the one that I have at the house that we just planted. Look at this. The hydrangea section. Weigelas. Reblooming lilacs. All right. This is the Bloomerang Ballet. That's so pretty. But yeah, even the winter interest on this is really nice. Have that little bit of structure. More dogwoods over there. Is this candy corn? Candy corn spirea? Nope. Double play Big Bang. That's so deceiving. Doesn't that look like candy corn if you've ever seen that? Boom. Exactly what it looks like. Let's head over here. So typically this whole section is the hydrangea section in the spring and summer, but they've cleared it all out again to make room for the lot of trees that they have. But look at this. Look at that. I just noticed this. Oh my. I hope they have this labeled because I have no idea what this is. If any of you guys know what this is, let me know. This can't be wisteria. Could it? That is insane. Hold on. Let's get underneath this. Oh, that's cute. They've got the little lights up. But look underneath it. This has to be wisteria, right, guys? But it starts here and then it just covers the entire structure. And then it just comes dangling off the side. A few feet. Hold up. Let's take a look at it from the other side. That is intense. I couldn't find a label or a tag, but that looks very wisteria-esque like to me. If you guys know what it is, let me know. But whatever it is mature. That thing has got to have been there for I don't know how many years, and I can't believe I never noticed it. Maybe because every time I've been here in the summertime, I'm more focused, like I'm looking more towards the ground at all of the beautiful plants. It never caught my eye, but see, you see different things in the wintertime, and we got to see this massive, beautiful beast. Oh, I know this section. It may have moved, but we're coming up to the Isley section. Oh, look at these. Thunderhead Japanese black pines. God, I want one. 15 feet high, 12 feet wide. It grows about 6 to 12 inches per year. God, they are beautiful. I love the structure on them. They're hardy down to negative 20. But look at this. Burke's red variegated Japanese red pine. 20 feet high, 15 feet wide, 12 to 15 inches of growth per year, full sun, hardy down to negative 20. Look at this. A variegated pine. Ah, isn't that not the most interesting tree you've seen? Look at that. It like glows. And to have that for winter interest, oh, I need more land. Chapman juniper. That's really pretty. 15 feet high, 4 feet wide. And I love the blue on this. Oh, there's so many things. Right there. You see that? That is a bronze weeping Serbian spruce. What do you guys want to bet me? 10 bucks? 10 bucks? Do I hear 20? Let's see. Yep. Bronze weeping Serbian spruce. 15 feet high, 3 feet wide. Hardy down to -30. This kind of looks like the weeping white spruce that we have from Isley, but a little bit more of a greenish color. Ugh, so dangerous here. Right over here, we've got some mophead false cypress. Looks like some globe arborvitaes, a little bit more of evergreen ground covers. And then right over here, we start in on the Japanese maple section, which we have looked at so many times, but we have to take a quick spin again. But I love how they have it all labeled out, like the weeping Japanese maples. If whatever you're looking for, Orangiola, I actually kind of want one of these. Crimson Queen, Tamukayama. And then right over here, they have the upright Japanese maples. So I love that they have these scattered throughout the garden, so you know what's here and what it actually looks like. And I think that's so helpful when you're looking for trees, because sometimes you don't know exactly what you're looking for. And you know, a lot of times trees, or they don't have the tags with pictures on them. They just have like a garden center tag with the plant stats on it. So it's nice to be able to get a visual on it, because you can hear details about a plant, but if you can't see it, you're never going to know what it actually is. So I think it's helpful. We have our little baby Japanese maples all over here. Look at this. This is a Rhode Island red Japanese maple from Isley. We like Isley. 6 feet tall and wide, slow grower, 3 to 6 inches per year. Hardy down to -20. And this is like in a 2-gallon container, 1-gallon container. Look at this. It's only like 16 inches tall. That is just adorable. Mikawa Yatsubusa Japanese maple. We've looked at this before. 6 feet tall, 4 feet wide. That's really pretty, and it doesn't get huge. Delicate leaves on this multi-branched, compact Japanese maple grow closely together and overlap. New yellow-green foliage has red tips and turns medium green with age. In fall, brilliant fiery red and darker red leaves create a dramatic show. Ooh. That's going on my list. Oh, the coral bark Japanese maple. This reminds me of the Arctic fire dogwood red. Look at that. But it's just so pretty. And look at this, guys. I mean, I've taken you through this whole section so many times, but it looks totally different now in the wintertime because all of the foliage is on the ground, and now you get to see the actual branching structure of the trees. Take, for example, Tamukayama. Every time I've shown this thing to you guys, it is completely covered with beautiful red foliage. You can't see anything. But now look at the structure in the winter. Look at this. We still have a few lingering leaves throughout, but look at the actual tree and the structure of it. It's just amazing. And I'm going to bring the camera in close so you can see it. But look at that. Isn't that just gorgeous? I love that. I mean, it just kind of just goes wherever it wants to go. It splits off the main trunk and just kind of pops out over there, stretches out over there. Beautiful. And we're coming up to some bigger coral bark maples. Look at this. Look at this mature coral bark Japanese maple. A lot more corally orange than the younger one that we just looked at down there. Look at that. I mean, how beautiful is that color? And just the overall structure of the tree. It's gorgeous. Everything in here, just another Tomukayama. They're just so pretty. And every single tree is just so different and so unique. I love it. I mean, look at this monster going over the fence. That is crazy. Oh, I love this. Oh, I hope it's picking up on camera. It's just so beautiful. Eastern white pine. Oh, isn't that just beautiful? It varies with culture. Okay, 12 to 15 inches of growth per year. Hardy down to -40. Full sun, and it weeps. So if you stake it, it will continue to grow. But you can see they've got the stake over here all the way up, and then they let it go. And you can see how it's just weeping over to the side now. So you've got the height, and then they decided 6 feet's good, and they let the rest of it just kind of go where it wants to go. Ugh. I love this. We're right by the highway, guys. Again, sorry. I love the candles on the pines. They look so beautiful. And again, look at this. Look at these. Right over here is where I fell in the last tour that I showed you guys when Mo and I came shopping. I was backing up to show you guys the weeping cedar, Alaskan cedar. I was backing up and I fell right over that boulder and landed right in there. But at least we had pretty things to look at. Look at this thing. Oh, so pretty. And the Hinoki cypress are just so beautiful in the wintertime. I mean, look at this. Look at this gold fern spray Hinoki cypress. Isn't it beautiful? Oh, I just love coming here. Any time of the year, you'll find something. All right, guys, we're over here in the back lot by the stones and the rocks. We've seen this section before, but ooh, we've got some beautiful magnolias. And I would love to have a magnolia tree, but a dwarf one that stays a little bit smaller, because there is a house a few blocks over from where we are, and they have the most beautiful magnolia. It is huge. It's got to be like 30 to 40 feet tall, 20 feet wide. And they've let me take cuttings from it before, like for decorations, but it is just gorgeous. And I wish I had the space for one of those, but I love the color of the foliage. You get the green on one side, the brown on the other. Can you see that? I mean, it's just beautiful. But I wish I could find one that's like dwarf variety, where it doesn't get so big. Oh. Okay, what do we got over here? So back over here behind me, we've got our holly section, and it looks like they're getting ready to, you know what, let's take a quick walk over here. It looks like they're getting ready to create another poly house. So this is actually kind of cool. You can see the structure of the hoop house. All of the plants and shrubs have been packed in here. Let's get in here real quick and take a look. Oh, it's locked. Okay. Either way, we've seen the inside of these before, and then they'll come in and cover it with the plastic to keep some of the heat in for the wintertime. These stop me every time. But yeah, it's just so interesting. All right, I'm going the wrong way here, but we're just going to kind of maneuver through. Ow. Grab my hair. But yeah, see? And then we'll come up on the other side. And there they are. Everything lined up. Sky pencils, strong box hollies. Those look like Nelly steeds. Yep. So I think it's really cool to kind of see the whole structure before they cover it. And they've got it framed in over there. So once they put all of the plastic over top, the front just looks like a regular framed in door or a barn door. And look, again, this is like the holly house, everything that's in here. Love it. Right behind it, we have a few more evergreens and a lot of their concrete pieces, bird baths, a lot of their statuaries over here, more mature hollies over there. It looks dark on camera. I hope it's picking up. Their ornamental grasses. And then we end up back at the arborvitae section and the pines. We've got some more pines over there, crepe myrtles over there, and then the arborvitaes. And you can see, you can actually hear it. They're maneuvering wood chips and mulch and gravel because they're leveling this whole section out over here. They'll come in, they'll level it, they'll put some gravel down, they'll bring the B&B trees back in here, and then they'll start covering them with wood chips and getting them ready for the winter. And look at this. These are like the little bags in lieu of the burlap, ball and burlap. They have these, which actually are supposed to be really good because this is actually provides airflow for the roots so they don't circle around as much. And when you go to plant it, you can just cut this and remove it right then and there. It's neat to actually see it in person. But yeah, we've got all of the mature pines and the larger arborvitaes, the green giants, junior giants, just all over. And then right over here in the front is some more of their pottery, more arborvitaes. And see, look, another sign right over here of what this section entails. Complete with height, like how tall and wide they grow, their growth habit, and pictures. Love that. And then we just end up right in the front. There's my Jeep over there. That's the clearance section over there. And then that's all of their cuttings and stuff for more evergreens. All right, guys, I had to run inside real quick, so I thought I'd show you their Christmas section because it is just beautiful. Look at this. Isn't it so festive and cheery? I love this little mantle and fireplace. I'm really into the Nutcracker, so I love that. But look at all of the different themed trees and all of these ornaments. Look at that. Oh, that is so pretty. The little stocking. But there's just so much going on over here. Look. How adorable is this? Little kids tree. Crayons. Oh, the little piggy. Oh, they've got a cowboy tree. Look, it's a Western themed tree. The boots. Cowboy hat. Oh, that is really cool. Oh, look, they even have like sauces and stuff for sale. Smokehouse barbecue, moonshine barbecue. It's so pretty. Oh, look, we have a pink Western theme. Oh, I love these little pink glitter cowboy hats. They're so pretty. Look at this. Look at all these ornaments. They are gorgeous. Look at that. Oh my. There's just so much going on here. Look at that. Oh. All of the decor. I like the little owl. Oh, we even have an owl tree. Oh, I love it with the little pine cones and the birds. And we're right over back where we started. Oh, it's so pretty over here. I wanted you guys to see it real quick. Look at that tree. That is beautiful. And I love these ornaments. Look at that. This reminds me of like a Christmas tree topper that we had. That was like the other way. And you fix it up on top. But yeah, look at that. This whole section. We're back outside. I'm gonna do a quick lap real quick, see if I find anything that I absolutely have to have. And then either way, if I do or I don't, I will meet you back at the house in a few. All right, guys, we are back home. The wind is starting to pick up a little bit and the sky's got that dark, gloomy look to it. So I don't know if we're in for some rain or something, but I did want to show you what I picked up from the garden center because I did walk out of there with a couple of beautiful things that I absolutely had to have. Actually, it was 3 things. Let's start with this beautiful conifer right here. Look at this, you guys. Isn't it beautiful? This is Black Dragon Japanese cedar. Oh my, this is gorgeous. So this gets 6 feet tall, 4 feet wide. It grows 6 to 8 inches per year, hardy down to -10, and it likes sun to partial shade, which is why I got this, because I want to put this somewhere where it does get some afternoon shade, and I think this is just going to be beautiful. I want something evergreen too, and look at this. Oh, it's so adorable. I love that. And the color is just beautiful. It's a rich, almost like an emerald green arborvitae, maybe a tiny bit more subdued, but gorgeous. Then over here, look at this little thing. Don't let this fool you though. This gets pretty large. This is Moonfrost Canadian hemlock. It grows pretty slow, 3 to 6 inches per year, but it can get 6 feet tall by 6 feet wide, hardy down to -30. And this also likes partial shade. But isn't it beautiful? I love the fine texture. I love the fine texture of the leaves or the branches. Look at that. Oh, so pretty. And then lastly, I picked up another Acarus Ogon grass. This one is actually in a 4-inch container, but it will finish off our little drift of Ogon grasses right under the dogwood tree. So perfect. It was a good morning this morning. I got to visit with some friends. We did a little mini garden center tour at the end of the year. We got to see a lot of trees and shrubs and plants in their winter state because, most of the time, we're looking at everything when it's in its full glory in the spring and summertime. So it's nice to go kind of like in the off season, and you actually get to see things how they look in the wintertime, and you can picture them in your mind how they're going to look in your garden. Like a lot of the deciduous trees, it's nice to be able to see the actual bone structure of them, so then you have an image in your mind of what it looks like and how is it going to fit into your landscape. And I love that. And there's so many things there now, and I love garden centers that keep everything fully stocked. So it was really enjoyable just to walk around and show you guys all of the different trees and shrubs in their little winter state. And I picked up a few more things to add to our garden and to our Isley collection. So all in all, it was a very good morning. And you guys, that is it for our video today. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.